Hello, my dear students. I'm Anjum Sheikh. Welcome back to my class. Students, you know that living in harmony with nature is not new to us. The sustainable living has always been an important part of India's tradition and culture. It has been integrated with our long lasting traditions and practices, customs, art and crafts, festivals, food, beliefs, rituals, etc. Ingrained within us is the philosophy that the entire natural world be in harmony, which is reflected in the famous phrase in Sanskrit Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means the entire earth is one family. Sara Vishwa Ek Parivar. The phrase is mentioned in Maha Upanishad, that is probably a part of the ancient Indian text Atharva Ved. In, in this chapter, we are going to study about the sustainable management of natural resources. Now tell me what is meant by the sustainable management. See, sustainable management means to conserve the resources, use them efficiently and to avoid their misuse for individual purposes. What is sustainable management? It is the sustainable management means to conserve the resources, use them efficiently and to avoid their misuse for individual purposes. So, it is included in the sustainable management. In 9th standard, we have already studied about some natural resources like soil, air, water and how various components are cycled over again and again. We have studied about some biogeochemical cycles, for example, carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, nitrogen cycle, water cycle, oxygen cycle, etc. Also, we have learnt that the pollution of natural resources have changed our earth completely. We often hear or read about the environmental problems. These are often global level problems and we feel helpless to bring any change. So, there are international laws and acts for environmental protection. For example, there are certain norms for the emission of the carbon dioxide gas. It was in 1991 that first time emission norms were introduced in India for petrol cars. Emission norms means some rules which has specified quantity decided by the government for control of air pollution. There is implementation of mandatory catalytic converters in 1995 for the 4 metro cities in the India, that is Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore and Chennai. From 2000, India introduced strict emission standards modeled on the European ones. This means the birth of the Bharat norms, with the first set of norms known as the Bharat Stage 2, followed by BS3, BS4 and now BS6. BS1 was the earlier Indian standard. Now we have to discuss about the Ganga Action Plan. Awareness about the problems caused by unthinkingly exploiting our resources has been a fairly recent phenomena in our society. And once this awareness rises, some action is usually taken. You must have heard about the Ganga Action Plan. Ganga Action Plan was a multi-crore project launched in 1985 because the quality of the water in the Ganga was very poor. Coliform is a group of bacteria found in human intestines whose presence in water indicates contamination by disease causing microorganism. Ganga Action Plan involved social participation, political interference and technical solutions. So, social participation included awareness sessions among the people as well as the cleanliness drives to clean the river as well as the surrounding areas of the river. Then, political interference, it included the formation of government committee involving the common citizens as well as democratic tools like RTI, Right to Information Act. Then it also had technical solutions like a water treatment plant in which bacteria in the polluted water is used to purify the water as well as the use of the sewage treatment plant. What do you know about the pollution of the river Ganga? The Ganga river runs its course of over 2500 kilometers from Gangotri in the Himalayas to Ganga Sagar in the Bay of Bengal. It is being turned into a drain by more than hundreds of towns and cities in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal that pour their garbage and excreta into it. Largely untreated sewage is also dumped into the Ganges every day. In addition, think of the pollution caused by other human activities like washing of clothes, immersion of ashes, or unburnt corpses. And then industries also contribute chemical effluents to the Ganga's pollution load. And the toxicity of these rivers kills the fish in large section. So the government has launched the Namami Gange program. It was launched by the Union government in year 2014. It was launched to accomplish the twin objectives of effective abatement of pollution conservation and rejuvenation of river Ganga. The National Mission for Clean Ganga is the implementation wing set up in October 2016. Now, some of the points from the Namami Gange program are taking up comprehensive measures to determine and maintain environmental flow of Ganga river around the year, then rehabilitation and upgradation of existing sewage treatment facilities, then treatment of sewage and other effluents flowing directly into the river, tackling industrial pollution, then development of selected village panchayats as model panchayats to be called as the Ganga Grams, tackling pollution coming from use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, then tackling religious refuse entering into the river, including cleaning of river surface and the ghats, riverfront development and ghats at selected 7 places and also at the other places of cultural significance. Then development of public amenities in Char Dham Yatra and at Ganga Sagar. Engagement of Ganga Task Force. So these are some of the points which are involved in the Namami Gange program. When we think about the pollution, we feel helpless, but we need not to feel powerless or overwhelmed by the scale of the problems because there are many things we can do to make a difference. You must have come across the 5 R's to save the environment. These 5 R's are refuse, reduce, reuse, reform or repurpose and recycle. These are the examples of the 5 R's. Now we have to discuss these 5 R's in detail. First one is refuse. This means to say no to things people offer you that you don't need. You should refuse to buy products that can harm you and the environment. You should say no to single use plastic bags, plastic carry bags, plastic straws, etc. Here you can see that 500 million plastic straws are used every day in America. That's enough to circle the earth twice. Instead of single use plastic bags. We should use the cloth bags, jute bags, etc. We should say no to the plastic bags. Then reduce. This means that you use less. You may save electricity by switching off unnecessary lights and fans. You save water by repairing leaky taps because every drop of water counts. So we should reduce the use of water. We should not waste food. Then reuse. It is actually even better than recycling because the process of recycling uses some energy. In the reuse strategy, you simply use things again and again. Instead of throwing away used envelopes, you can reverse it and use it again. The plastic bags, the plastic bottles in which you buy various food items like jams, pickles, etc. These bottles can also be reused for the kitchen purpose. Here also you can see the reuse of the plastic bottles in the gardens. The next is repurpose. This means when a product can no more be used for the original purpose, you may think carefully, creatively and use it for some other useful purpose. For example, cracked crockery or cups with the broken handles can be used to grow small plants. Here the cup has been used to make a candle. Then here you can see that the plastic bottles can be used as a flower pots. Even old shoes can also be used to grow the plants. Here you can see the old bicycle wheel has been used to make a beautiful clock. You can repurpose the plastic bottles to make pencil holders. You can use it for various other purposes. Even the tires of vehicles can also be used to make the furnitures. So this is included in repurpose. Next is recycle. This means that you collect plastic, paper, glass and metal items and recycle these materials to make required things. Instead of synthesizing or extracting fresh plastic, paper, glass or metal. In order to recycle, we first need to segregate our wastes so that the materials that can be recycled is not dumped along with the other wastes. Here are some examples of recyclable waste. For example, plastic jugs, phone books, glass jars and bottles, plastic bags, plastic bottles, papers, clean metal and food cans, then cardboard, box board, aluminium can, clean aluminium foil wraps and pans, aerosol cans, pots and pans. So these materials can be recycled. Even while making everyday choices, we can make environment friendly decisions. For doing this, we need to know more about how our choices affect the environment. These effects may be immediate or long term effects. The concept of sustainable development encourages forms of growth that meet current basic human needs while preserving the resources for the needs of future generations. If we change our lifestyle, if we become eco-friendly, then only we can save our environment. In next video, we will discuss why do we need to manage our natural resources. Thank you.